So my research was looking at the risk appetite of the armed forces, in particular the Royal Air Force, towards both operations and training. Now, this came about because of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. So the RAF were asked to support the Ukrainian Air Force, and in particular, an example was fitting missiles onto the Sukhoi 24, which was a Russian origin aircraft that the Ukrainian Air Force were flying. Now, that sort of procedure in the UK on a UK aircraft took 4 years. That just was too long, obviously, in the situation that Ukraine found itself in. And so the Royal Air Force had to get past the regulations and processes that it had and find a way to do it, which it did in 10 weeks' time. Now, that's excellent, but what the Air Force realised was that actually across the board they had a problem with risk aversion, and that's partly due to the past. And I started to look at that history, how things had changed, why they'd changed over 30 years since the Cold War, and help them then understand where they'd got to. What the Air Force wanted to do was propose to the Ministry of Defence that they were allowed to change and adjust their risk appetite in order to support Ukraine. That meant they wanted to present something called the Military Capabilities Board, which is a very senior board at the Ministry of Defence. And my paper was used as the primary piece of evidence to that board, and they were endorsed in taking forward this process and way of thinking and spreading it out further across the forces so that we're ready for what comes around the corner. And what I really like is that I'm a critical friend alongside my institute, the Freeman Air and Space Institute. We are independent. Because we belong to King's College London, we're part of an academic institute, we have to be able to say what we think and tell them the honest truth. But at the same time, we're there to support our armed forces in order to make them the most capable they can be so that they deter going forward into the future.